Hello, Nick from Tiny Workshops here to talk about another set, this time from Nifeliz. It's the R18 Race Car set, which seems to be based on the 2015 Audi R18 prototype race car, although I don't think it's licensed, so they can't say that on the box, but I mean, looking at it, it's almost exactly the same. As you can see, this is a very large set. It comes with 1,685 pieces, which doesn't sound like that many, but then the finished product measures 50 centimeters by 23 centimeters by 15 centimeters, which is something like 20 by 9 by 5.5 inches. And yeah, it's huge. Working on this thing, you're going to definitely want a large table, and also you need to think about where to put it when it's finished because it takes up a lot of space. If you're not familiar with Nifeliz, it's a newer company that mostly repackages sets from other Chinese manufacturers, which is, good and bad. It's good because it makes it easier to actually buy these sets for a Western audience in the States or in Europe or wherever. But also they, provide missing piece service and things like that. So this set didn't have any missing pieces when I was finished, but it's nice to have that because there's nothing worse than getting to the end of a set and finding out that you're missing a piece. This particular set, though, is original, or at least they say that it's original, which I'll talk about a little bit later. There's some similarities to some other sets, but yeah, we'll talk about that later. This set comes in a very large box with something like 20 bags inside, really nice large instruction manual, 3 little boxes which make it really easy to build, as well as 2 pages of stickers, one with normal stickers and one with transfer stickers. This one I made with transfer stickers. Throughout the video you'll see kind of both this build without the stickers and with the stickers, so you can decide whether or not you want to put them yourself. I think it looks better with the stickers personally, although there are a lot of stickers that sort of go over the lines between pieces, so if you ever want to take this apart, that's going to be a pain. Something to keep in mind. The build process on this was very smooth. I thought it went really nicely. All of the instructions in the manual were very easy to follow, and the 3 boxes that were included made it very easy. What I did is I put the 2 different connectors, the 2 different sizes of connectors, in 2 of the boxes, and then the bag that I was actively working on in the other box. The thing about the bags is that they are numbered, and they're numbered by the step in the manual that you're currently working on, which is useful, but at the same time, the numbers themselves are printed in very small black writing on the bags, and it can be really difficult to read. So maybe before you get started, if you want to try to sort out the bags to make that a little bit easier, I think that would be a good idea. The quality of the pieces themselves, obviously this is a Technic set, so you've got a lot of connectors and smaller pieces. The quality is good. Obviously it's not as good as the leading brand, but it's not bad. One specific issue that I ran into is that a lot of the connectors had mold flash on the middle of the piece, which it doesn't really hurt the connection at all, but it can hurt your fingers while you're trying to put it together, so it's just something to keep in mind. But other than that, everything snapped together perfectly. There were no issues with broken pieces or anything like that, and all of the pieces were there, as I already mentioned, so nothing to worry about in that regard. As for the features of the finished set, it's really great, actually, the quality. It's got working suspension on both the front and the back wheels. The steering wheel works. There's a little switch in the front here, which you can use to either open this back flap or back wing, whatever you want to call it. And on the inside, you can see the engine, and the engine does move when the wheels move, which is a neat little feature. And if you put the switch the other way, you can use it to open the doors to the cab or the cockpit or whatever you want to call it. Now, this set is not motorized, but it could be motorized with a few minor modifications. I didn't do it myself, but I know that it's possible for a very specific reason, and that is that this set is very similar to an existing set that I've seen from Kada, which is the Kada Porsche 919 set C61016. It's a few years old at this point. I'm not actually sure if that set was licensed, so I don't think that they could call it the Porsche 919, but that's what it was. I'm also not sure if it's still on the market, I've seen it in their catalogs, and you can get it in a few different retailers, but I think as Kata has moved into more licensed sets and also licensing IP and things like that, maybe they've gotten away from this sort of model. But Nifeliz seems to have adopted the model. Now, it's not exactly the same, and there have been some improvements made, and I'm not even really sure if the Kata set is the original or if that was also adapted from a different design. I don't have it here with me to compare the two, but from what I've seen, for example, the front part on the Nifeliz model doesn't open, whereas it does for the Kata set. This part over the wheels in the front as well is different, and a few other minor things are different, but overall the build is very similar, which is fine, I guess. The Kata set was sold in two different models, one with the motor and one without. So presumably if you just buy the motor kit from the Kata store, which you can do, you can easily adapt that into this model with a few minor changes. For example, this side section here, there's a big empty space underneath for the motor. If you modify the front part, there's an empty space here for the motor. And in the Kata set, I know that you can motorize just about everything, including opening this back wing part, opening the doors, everything. So it is possible if you want to modify the set, but you will need to spend a little bit extra money. With that in mind, would I recommend this set? Yeah, I would. It's a really nice build. It's not too expensive. I believe it comes in around about 70 bucks, which is very affordable for the number of pieces that it has. And the finished build is definitely impressive. Again, make sure you carve out some space on your shelf or wherever you're going to put it, because it does take up a lot of space. One other thing to keep in mind is that Nifeliz does recommend this set for ages 16 and up, which I think is about appropriate. You're definitely not going to want to give this to a child. They'll struggle with it and get frustrated. And again, some of the connectors can be a little bit tough on the fingers, so definitely for older builders or adults. This set also tends to be quite popular, so it does sell out quite often. Nifeliz has a lot of other sets that you can get on Amazon and other places that are similar quality. Some of them are smaller than this, some of them are bigger than this, so you can imagine. I think this set took me about 5 or 6 hours to finish, so probably best finished over 2 sessions. I think I took maybe 3 or 4 sessions that were shorter. But yeah, that's about it. Really nice set. Recommend it if you can find it. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this set. It's heavy too. You can hear the pistons in the engine.